Hello everyone, a warm welcome to join the Sisu Talks. Today we are joined by Snehalata Deshmukh, HR Country Head at Naval Group India. Hello Snehalata, welcome to our program.
Good evening, Vijay.
With me I have Prem Kumar. Hello Prem sir.
Hi, Vijay. Hi, Sneha. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And good evening to everyone who joined the call.
Thank you for joining us Snehalata. Today we are going to talk on empowering HR leadership, navigating the future of work. So first question to you Snehalata, could you please share your career journey?
Sure, Vijay. And first of all, thank you very much for providing me this platform. And, I'm happy to share my journey. So, I started my career as a zoology graduate, and what I always say, from animal to human. Then I did my master's in human resource. Adding to that, I did my diploma in labor law, and I'm a 16 PF certified practitioner, which gives me advantage and the leverage to understand the strength and the weakness of the people. My journey started as a placement recruiter, and the same consultant, they placed me with Naval Group India for the recruitment. But looking at the profile, my job, they hired me, and I'm with the Naval Group India from last 15 years. I started as HR executive, and today I'm head HR of the same organization. So that's my journey in brief.
Thank you for that, Snehalata. It's a long journey with the same organization.
True.
Yeah. So my first question is, what skills and qualities are crucial for a successful HR department in the modern workplace?
So, with my experience, there are three important qualities HR department or a person working in HR department should possess. First, very important, is the collaborative skill, because the HR, we are the bridge between management and the employee, and not just management and employee, but also inter-department, intra-department. So, these collaborative skills help us to build a bridge for the organizational success. Second, data analytics, because we have the most sensitive data and the wide range of data, that's people's data. The moment we are able to analyze this data in the right direction, there are so many decisions which would help organization to grow as well as for the people to grow. And third important, the mindset of a business partner and not just an individual HR department. Like HRBP, what we say, because that will help any HR person to think strategically whenever they are developing any policy, executing any policy. All the time, the strategic thought process of being a business partner, if it's in the mind, every HR function will help for the to the organization and to the employee as well. So these are the three skills I feel are very, very important: collaboration, data analytics, and business partner strategic thinking.
Great. So you said collaborative skills, which is bridging for inter and intra departments, and
Yes.
data analytics. Definitely, there are lots of data you have to handle. Mindset on business partner. So business partner means you would like to mention about business operations within the organization and externally as well.
So basically, the first, of course, the customer for any HR department is the employee and the internal stakeholders, like the management.
Okay.
So when I say business partner, and every time the thinking process of a HR, like how this particular policy, what I'm developing, is going to help the organization to grow. So it can be in terms of generating revenue, or it also can be in terms of cost saving, keeping in mind the welfare of the employees.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sneha, for that. Sneha, thank you for
Mhm.
joining us. You are the first women leader who we've been having in the show. Thank you for joining us and being part of this talk show that we are doing. Uh, my next question would be, how does the HR director role intersect with the C-suite executives?
A very interesting question, Prem Kumar, because being into HR, you are the focal point. The HR is the focal point for the growth and the success of the organization because it connects management, employee, departmental operations. So, as a HR director, the role which there, I mean, with various head, the C-suite executive, it intersects. May it be CFO taking some financial decision, as I said, always keeping the wellness and the prioritizing employee. CTO, the chief technical officer, working on the competencies of the employee, taking care of the career of the employee. Then we have CIO, chief information officer, because in today's world, with the technology, there are so many things, so many software we are building in house, and so many things can be done to increase the productivity. So, with this kind of intersection, the collaborative skill, as I mentioned earlier, helps a lot. This I would like to say.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sneha.
Mhm.
Vijay, you would like to go for the next question?
Yes, Asnega. So, uh, as we know that everybody talks about AI nowadays, right? So, how are
Mm.
technology and artificial intelligence transforming HR practices from recruitment to performance management?
Absolutely, Vijay. Nowadays, everywhere the buzzword is AI, 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 and I am also equally, the fan of this generative AI. I must say, AI helps, HR in transforming the practices. Like for example, it can automate lot of process which are redundant, which are unproductive in nature, or which are just a kind of a data entry type of job. The time and energy which HR department earlier was giving for such job. A simple example, I would say, for example, say recruitment process. So there are number of CVs, when we get. So even as a person, when a person is scanning, he or she takes a minimum, say, a quick scan. Okay, this is matching, this is matching. There is a checklist in the mind. The same work when this ATS system is doing for the HR, because it scans, you just have to set the prompt there, like these are the checklist what we need, and it helps to filter the resume at the first level. So the second level where the HR can check the resume, it's much more less workload, and the same resources can be used in more strategic planning, strategic policy making, and the execution of such policies. And HR then can focus more on the well being of the employees. For example, employee engagement. So, like through AI, this employee engagement, it gets a boost because it identifies the patterns and it can address the issues also. What I was talking about, data analytics. So when we have fed this all the data in the system, it's important that it's not just data but what you derive from the data, that is important because all your decisions are based on it. And AI definitely helps in saving time and having some scenario in front to take the decision faster and quicker. So that's how the AI helps in transforming HR practices, Vijay.
Okay. When we talk about AI, another question spinning in mind
Hmm.
while you recruiting, right? So you mean to say in profile there should be important keywords. By that keywords or this AI technology you are utilizing and shortlisting the resources. I mean profiles.
Yes, at the initial level, the keywords are the main matching, one of the matching criteria, I would say, because there are loads and loads of resumes coming at the HR desk, at HR executive level, and I mean that person definitely is not going to read each and every resume because it will take ages for him or her to read it out. So the very fastest way is to filter it out with the keyword matching. So that saves time for that person. And when that first level of screening happens, after that whatever lot we get, then there the manual reading comes into the play.
All right. In that case, losing a right candidate also possible, right? I mean to say the right skilled person also maybe
Um, if it's only the keyword checklist, if we are putting only that one criteria should be matched, then yes, there are chances that we might lose some person just because the words were not matching. But 90% of our experience says, because today everyone is well aware about the words or the jargons we are using in our day-to-day profile. So
yes.
yes, 90% still it's a success rate. 10% I have to say yes, there are chances.
Absolutely. Thank you for that insights, Snega.
Mhm.
Now, we're moving to the next question. See, now with the tools coming in, you have the ATS helping you to shortlist resumes. Then you have the interview process, which is also getting streamlined when you are looking at AI as a tool. There are a lot of tools which are coming up. You were talking in your previous question is what tools you would get into the CIO and the C-suite connect between how your role can intersect with the C-suite, right? I think when you look at the tools, you will have to carefully analyze what tools can help us reduce the work. That's what you are trying to say, right?
Right, right,
Right.
Prem Kumar.
Okay. So with that, what are the ethical considerations surrounding the use of AI and HR decision making? You touched upon to a little bit in the previous question, but how does the decision making affect while we are not using AI and how while we are using AI? That one clarity we would like to have.
Okay. So I'll answer your this question like how decision making changes with AI, without AI, right?
Yeah.
So
One minute,
first, yeah.
sir. If anybody in the audience have a question, you raise your hands. We will allow you to ask Sneha to answer your questions. Let's make this interactive if that is possible. Sneha, go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Sneha.
Okay. So decision making with AI. First thing I would like to say, it saves time, because with AI the generation of the report from the data,
Okay.
okay, it is in the fraction or second of time. Whereas if I put a resource there, a full time FTE,
Mhm.
to extract the report from the data given, it might take a day. Okay. Plus, the resource, of course, can come up with lot of scenarios, but again, it would be limited considering the experience and the exposure of that resource. Whereas with the AI, the report, I will get the report in 5 minutes, and I'll get, I would say, maximum of scenarios. For a management to take a decision, they want scenarios or options in front of them where they can only choose and pick up. Okay, we go with this, we don't go with this. They don't have time to actually put behind the kind of analyzing, okay, this, that, or that. They just need, okay, tell me what we should, option A, option B.
Okay.
This is what the management look forward to. So with AI, I feel the time is saved.
Hmm.
So the making is faster.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, without AI, the same decision will take 3 days, 4 days, or even a month, because the right kind of report or right kind of scenario has not reached to the management
Hmm.
in that time.
Okay.
This is my takeaway. With AI, it's quicker, and since the decision is taken, the once the decision is taken, the major role has done, the execution follows automatically.
Okay.
And as you know, Prem Kumar, many a time it is important the timely decision
Yeah, right.
for an organization to run and to have a success. It's a timely decision. Right, wrong comes later on, but take a decision. And management will feel confident to take a decision when they have the scenario in front of them with the data. So that's my take on this.
Yeah, so you touched upon pointers where we say AI gives you quicker reports.
Hmm.
You have better control over the scenarios that you have defined to take right decisions with the tool based on the criteria that you have defined in the tool. which gives you more visibility. The reports are available instantly rather than having it generated as and when required by the FTE, and it takes a lot of time. That's
Mhm.
where we see AI helping you making the decisions quicker. That's the takeaway, right? In this
Right,
one, yeah.
right.
Okay, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Hello, Ashish. We have Ashish here.
Yeah, hi. A very good evening to everyone. Good evening, Sneha.
Good evening, Ashish.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been pretty informative listening to you. I just had a clarification. I want to ask. I want to seek your views. That does AI makes better decisions than human? Because my personal understanding is yes. Because they actually are able to outperform the human tasks, and because it needs a lot of which require a lot of data processing, pattern recognition, etc. But I want to understand your views that how AI makes better decisions than humans. Can they do it? And secondly, can AI replace human decision making altogether?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, Ashish, and that I think very close to me. I like this kind of question. Important is AI will never take any decision. For me, it's AI will only give you data, will only give you scenarios. But as a human, we have the strength and we have the competency to take the decision not just based on one part, that is data, but there is an emotional touch, there is a human touch, because we are human after all. And that is what that will make human anytime better than the AI will not replace human, but it will be replaced by the human who knows how to use the I say that way.
Yeah, I completely second your thoughts. We all know, I mean, on November 8th, the incident in South Korea, right, where a robot actually mistook a human and chopped them
Exactly.
off literally.
Exactly. In fact, to add it more, there was this one movie, I Robo. If
Okay.
I don't know if you would have seen it, Will Smith was in that, and he was stuck in the car in the water. Okay, inside the water, he was drowned in the river, and in the car he was there, and his daughter, 6 years old daughter, was there. Okay, they were stuck in the car with all water, flooding up in the car, and a robo, I mean the AI that time, I mean it comes, and the task for that robot is to rescue these two people,
All right.
but the only condition that only one person could be rescued. So what this robot does, he checks the probability of surviving, where the father's probability is more, because he could rescue him, he was in the front seat, and he doesn't go to help the daughter. Whereas Will Smith, he is being shouting that I'm capable of coming out. You just take care of my daughter because she is the one who will need the support. But as a robot, it doesn't understand that part, that human touch, or that emotions. No, nothing. So what I always say, AI can only give you data in a quick time, but the decision, the human touch can only come from human. AI cannot do that. And I
Absolutely.
strongly believe that, because the kind of brain we have, the kind of emotions we have, everything it changes. Our decision making is based on our gut feeling, and that gut feeling sometimes it's not possible to explain, but it does help you to take the right decision. So
Actually, I completely second your thoughts, because we bring as a lot of range of experiences, creativity, intuition, to the decision making
exactly.
process, which AI really cannot
Absolutely.
actually.
Absolutely. It's AI is a machine. It will give me all sort of data scenario. Okay, this is there, this is there. But it is like, I have to decide whether I go for option A or option B, and does it feel good? Does it feel good in my gut? Like, why am I doing this? So
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah.
to add to what Sneha said and what views that you are having, see, I've been in AI for 3 years, AI and ML. So, what I understand or what I've gone through with AI is it is predominantly the data that you load. It does not have a fresh data. We are still not gone into a system where it automatically learns from, but the data is fed, unstructured and structured data is fed to the system so that it picks up the right configuration that we are putting to the system. But end of the day, the validation still remains with human. To just to add to
Yes.
what we are saying, so the decision making and the process that you want to set on an AI tool is based on the scenarios that a human has to take, and that is how it is enabling us to do quicker things, and it can run as many as scenarios that you want to define. I will add it like that and take it for you if that answers your question, Ashish.
No, no, definitely yes. A big thanks to Sneha and big thanks to you as well. So I definitely answers my question, and it throws out a light on a larger area that
Yeah.
AI cannot replace humans at all. Humans will be required. The kind of tools and technologies will change, and we need to upgrade. To
To
leverage them.
add again, see, when the banks went for the ATMs, this I have speaking on many discussions that I have been part of. Banks, when they brought ATMs, they said bank employees would not lose their jobs and stuff, but bank employees increased over the years. Similarly, when Google started to say search engine, so search engine said, oh, there now we don't need anybody books to give or some references. We just Google go to Google search and you will get the result. Now we have a data of Google, but we don't know what to search. That's the stage we are into, and we get hundreds of answers, but we don't know what is the answer that we'll have to look at. So it is all a scenario that we went in, and one scenario led to another enhancement, and another scenario went to another enhancement. That's how the whole AI piece has been evolved for last, I think, 30, 40 years. We've been talking AI in a gradual way, but it's catching up pace in the last 5, 6 years, right? So
Absolutely. Then absolutely, I completely agree. Thank you so much for your inputs. Thank you so much.
we have Arvind. Arvind, your question, please.
Yeah, good evening, Sneha, and good evening, panelists. It's a good morning for me here in the
Good
USA.
morning, sir.
Uh, I would like to add some points regarding the AI selection
Mm-hmm.
and throw some light on recently what are the challenges we are seeing in my organization when we are doing the bulk hiring.
Okay.
6 months before, we were not getting more resume which were matching the keyword for the profile, but recently we are seeing when we are giving those keyword and lot of profile we are getting,
Okay.
and then we notice that through AI and the current the job applicants are adding some of the keywords which makes more added more possibility for their resume to be selected,
Hmm.
and when we are taking the interviews we are seeing that they are not at all performing. So it has increases the work also for interviewer who are interviewing, and sometimes we are getting challenged, hey, are we selecting the right candidate? Looks like his resume and whatever his resume and he's saying is looks passionate, it's a quick pick for his resume and take the decision ki these 20 candidates will call. However, out of 20, even if one is not good enough. So AI is also increasing our work sometimes if we do not play with it smartly.
Sneha, you would like to add something? Yes, Sneha.
Absolutely. First of all, good evening and good morning, Arvind. So, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, Arvind is definitely right. But my take on this, even before AI, the resume writing was a skill. Okay, some other people used to write resume for many other candidates. So there is always a probability of having a very strong resume, but in the interview, they fail miserably, because being a head HR, I have taken almost many interviews, and I can tell you the resume is never a guarantee that a candidate has all those skills first place, because especially the people who are performing or who are actually good, sometimes their resumes are not strong enough. So even without AI, the chances of them getting the interview call was always less, because they are not putting the effort to make their resume look what they actually do. So, with AI, without AI, I would just say, with AI or without AI, it's always a matter of time and the filtering and the kind of prompt you will give in the AI. Like, what are the words or what are the checklists you want to put across? What kind of filters you want to put across? So, as Arvind rightly said, you have to be smart in using the AI. But the probability of having best resume and not good quality in the interview will always exist. That I cannot deny.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
absolutely true.
Yeah, that's a fact of life. So that is something the actual interview will always help to filter the cream layer. It always happens. It always happens.
I think you are right, Sneha. But, also, Arvind. So, what is going to happen is with the ATS and other systems coming in with resume screening, we have a lot of work or tools that which bring up some part. So I think if it solves your 100% problem about 30%, I think that should be the first step, I think, when we look at AI. And as you gradually fine tune your configuration and how to look at, that way it brings up more clarity, and your fine tuning of the AI tool becomes much more granular, seamless, so that you get the accurate results that you want. Agreed, Sneha or Arvind? Do you agree for that?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Prem Kumar. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving
Thank you,
on to
Prem.
the,
Thank you.
yeah, I hope your question is answered, Arvind.
Yes, it is answered.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question, Vijay.
Yes. So, how can HR leverage technology to streamline HR processes while maintaining a human touch, Sneha?
Okay. So, since I'll take the example of recruitment only,
Mhm.
since we are talking about the screening and ATS system. So here, yes, automation or the AI can simplify the filtering of the resume, can save the time. The onboarding, where it is very routine job of filling up the form or kind of getting the information of the candidate. All this thing can be automated. But as a HR, I would personally recommend HR to follow 30, 60, 90 formula with the new joinee. He can be inducted by automation process, but after 30 days, after 60 days, and after 90 days, keep a feedback session one to one.
How can HR ensure there's a sense of belonging, connection among the remote and hybrid teams? Now, being the norm of hybrid teams being spoken all around, and 70 hours, somebody is talking about 70 hours, somebody is talking about the number of hours. How do we manage this? This is becoming a critical thing for us to manage remote and hybrid teams, right? How do we look
Hmm.
at this?
Very important question, and I would say a very crucial task for current HR department, because especially post COVID, remote working or hybrid working has become a norm. Initially it was not, but today it has become a norm, and it is a challenge, because when you see people day to day in front of you, it's a different connect. But when you are not out of sight, all the more it becomes important to stay connected. So, very important, I would say, the communication. Communication, connecting with the employee, remote working or in office, communicating the new policy, communicating the new achievement, and recognizing employee and announcing it will help. So, even the remote employee will not feel left out. Okay, like, since I'm not in office and that's why I'm not being recognized, no. So HR has to, or HR and the line manager, of course, together the team has to come out with the clear performance expectations. So it doesn't matter if you're working from office or you're working from home, these are the expectations from an employee, and if those are fulfilled, the recognition has to be announced, it has to be public, so that employee will feel, yes, no matter what, if I'm in office or not in office, my work is still recognized. So that is how the connection will always remain.
So when you say you'll have to keep them engaged, one is that. Second is you'll have to keep them informed how this remote work
Yes,
as a
yes,
policy has to be looked at, and how it has to be adhered, and keeping them motivated in some form of connect is what you see as a norm that is going to be part of the working life for future, right? Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Okay.
here the additional workload of HR is communication, communication.
Yeah.
Know where this break in communication should happen,
Hmm.
and recognizing the employee for the work, and it is very important, it's very important, and recognizing and announcing it so that the person employee will feel connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Snehal. Uh,
Mhm.
I think Shankara is raising his hand. I'm just allowing him. Hi, Shankara.
Hi, thank you, panelists. It was a great, informative session. I have a question based on this pandemic, what we have learned basically on leadership level, and what are the lessons learned primarily understood by the industry, and moving forward, if anything such this is going to happen again, what is the contingency? Because during the COVID, many people went through a lot of hurdle and many people went through many things. So I just would like to know because I have another question, but let me just understand this first.
Sneha, would you like to take it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
So, Shankara, thanks for asking this question. So, yes, COVID was sudden, and many leaders, I mean, all leaders were unprepared that time. So, I will say a lot of decision might have gone wrong during COVID. Sacking the people, cutting the salary, and taking some decision without having any kind of vision. But post COVID, I am 100% sure the leaders have learned their lessons, and they know now, at least if this kind of situation will again happen, the main important thing, they are going to retain their people. They are not going to sack them for sure, because after the COVID, this financial contingency plan is already in place with lot of companies. And any financial decision, any kind of balance sheet preparation are being prepared keeping in mind such kind of situation if it arises. Initially, it was not the case, because that's what we do here. Initially, because no one was aware like something such things can happen. But today, we know thing can happen, and sometime, like company wouldn't be in a position to pay the salary for a month, but that doesn't mean company will immediately go and take a call that okay, we sack the employee. There would also be a collaboration with the employee, and saying that okay, we divide the salary, so at least the job of all the employees are maintained. So leadership has evolved, and definitely post COVID the leadership has taken a lot of learning lessons from it. That's what I would like to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
Shankara, to see from a technology standpoint, we were not prepared. To add what Sneha said, we were always in a point that will we be in a position to handle the load that we can do it from home? Are we ready, prepared, and stuff like that? Okay, while we went into the pandemic. But if you really look at, we geared up there. We had some things, but tools like Zoom, Teams helped us get connected quickly. VPNs were
Yeah.
anyway there with us, where we used to come and connect remotely from a technology standpoint.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
what happened is we went into a stronger system rather than saying that you'll have to be present in office to work. So that is one addition that happened during COVID. That is a big lesson for the leaders. The leaders said, how do we enable work whether you are in office or not? If you look at taking the statistics that we did in COVID, people have worked more time than the time they worked in offices. There were calculations that happened where was there people said the travel time which used to commute in major cities like predominantly Bangalore was the example that was taken. So 1 hour, 2 hours of traffic up and down is 3 hours, and we save that time. People started looking at that as a way to work more. They were available for meetings, but the other flip side is there were many calls because, as Sneha rightly said, while we were in office, I can walk in and say, "Hey, Sneha or Shashank, there is something that I want to do. Can you finish this?" And we walk out to our desk or get into another work. But in the remote space, what happens is you will have to call them. He'll be in another call or she will be in another call. By the time they call you back, you will be in another call. That is one challenge that we see in remote work. Otherwise, the technology and the systems and the security side is already briefed up, taken into consideration. Considerable testings have been done for people to work from home. The broadband connections have become stable. Okay. and you see a lot of people still insisting that they can work from home. Sneha, is that point what we can take it while we look at remote working and see how that we can consider it, Sneha?
Yes, sure, Prem Kumar, because what Shankara asks, like, what are the contingency plans? So that time it was nothing, but today, after the
Yes.
experience, definitely every leader or every person has developed it, and they have adapted to this new norm. So
Oh,
even if discussing with the colleague might take time, but now mentally we are prepared that okay,
correct.
this is the norm.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hope Shankara, your question is answered.
Answered.
Yeah, yeah, perfectly fine. In fact, I think AI is adding more value to the hiring process also at C-suite and senior management roles. Because I could see during the COVID, some of the people who were about to hire certain candidates and they put it on hold. But though their business requirement was there and they were not ready to really give a thought towards going ahead with that. That was during just at the cusp of the end of the second lockdown. So that is why I was just very curious on this session, and it was very informative. And thanks again for everyone. Thanks, Neha.
If, Prem and Sneha, you added a touched base a very good point, and just I will say that post COVID, I can see that willingness to work that has increased in the employee. So even if worst situation is happening, still nowadays implies mindset is no, we have to work, we have to keep continue the momentum. So that shift in the mindset will be helpful to overcome any upcoming challenges.
Right, right.
Right,
Yeah.
Arvind. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. Thank you, Arvind. Vijay?
Yeah. I have another question, Sneham. So everybody's talking about work-life balance, and because of that, productivity gets affected. So this question is about that only. How does prioritizing mental health contribute to your healthier and more productive workforce?
Vijay, that's such a important question because not just for productivity, but even for the in general well-being, the mental health is very, very, very important. And believe me, in India, we have been ignoring this. We were not that careful and serious about such things. But post COVID, when employees started coming back to the office, and even with the hybrid model, we could see there used to be a certain drop in productivity, or because in COVID, I won't say majority, but many employees have lost their relatives, they lost their near and dear ones, and the grief was not out because it was sudden and no one could do anything. After they joined office, the first thing what I did, I started counseling services for all the employees and their family. It was one of the initiative which, as a head HR, we took to ensure that they are mentally stable and healthy, and they have a way to vent out or to discuss certain thing apart from office, because always it is not office workload, or sometimes it is also personal. They have lost someone in the COVID time, the grief is always there, and it need to be addressed. And this service has really helped my employees to accept the loss of the dear one and come back and start be productive, and at the same time to be more stable. So many of them have started yoga, taking care of their meditation, and then of course they are having this regular counseling session with this counselor. So these are certain initiatives which we took, and as I said, mental health is very, very, very important. Without mental health, you cannot perform neither in office nor at your home or in any of your social life or other lifestyle.
Yeah, Sneha. I think you touched upon mental health, counseling, and stuff when people came back to office. Next question: how or what role does a HR play reducing stress? You half answered the question, but I want to put it across in much better, saying that reducing workspace stress and promoting positive work-life balance. How do we look at that when we see people coming back to office? This would be our last question as we are nearing time to closure. Sneha, if you can answer, then we'll summarize.
So, as I have answered, almost
Yeah,
this earlier, like counseling is one of the step to
right.
maintain this balance and to reduce the workplace stress. And I believe the workplace stress, as well as there are certain other stress which a employee would be undergoing post COVID.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's very important that he or she has some kind of help, some kind of coach where he or she can discuss about how are they actually feeling, what actions they can do to overcome such kind of thought process. As a HR, we can give this kind of services to the employee through the some third party, or having tie up with the counselor.
Mhm.
Second, regular performance review is very important,
Okay.
because it's not just giving the services, but are the services being effective? Is
Hmm.
it really helping the employee? So
Okay.
this once in a year assessment is not something I would recommend. I would recommend timely review can be after every 3 months, after every 4 months. This will help. And as I always say, that money is not always the thing which keeps the employee in the organization, but what help is making sure that the fair wages and the benchmarking of the compensation is managed, performance is managed properly, and employee are free to take any kind of decision without being under the pressure, so to have a balanced and stable life. So this is how HR can help employee to reduce the workplace stress.
Okay. So looking at what we hear from you here is we have to look at the way we do appraisals, because the structure of or taking a feedback from the employees, not on a yearly side, that also should look at an agile methodology that you would like to suggest or pinpoint, if that is one way we can look at connect and see.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Because see, waiting for a year to give the assessment.
Hmm.
See, it's like post COVID. Seriously, life is uncertain. We don't know
Correct.
what may happen tomorrow. We don't know what may
Correct.
happen after 1 month. So if someone has performed really good in the month of April, why do
Hmm.
you want to reward that person in the month of December?
Okay.
Just do it. The person will perform I mean 5 times more, and seeing that person, the other employee will get motivated and will start performing, because they know they don't have to wait for that. They
Okay.
get the reward, or the appreciation instantly, and that will boost their productivity.
They're rightly
So,
said.
in our organization, we have come up with spot bonuses. Spot
Hmm.
bonuses. The name itself says spot bonuses. So there is nothing like it will be only given in March or only given in June. No, the moment we feel any employee has done something out of the scope or has done extraordinary work, we just give it. It's a spot bonus. So employee also has that kind of thrill and I would say willingness to perform and get that bonus.
Yeah, thank you for that, Vijay. You would like to add closing statements, or you want to give input? Thank you, Sneha, for that. Vijay, go ahead.
Yep. Thank you, Sneha, for your time and joining us and sharing your insights on the questions. And thank you so much. Thank you, Arvind, for your question. Thank you, Sankara, for your question. And thank you, Ashish, for your question. With this, we would like to conclude the session. Thank you, audience, for joining us today. Thank you, Prem. We'll come up with the next episode next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
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 you
you.
you.
all. Bye.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Prem
everyone.
Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.